was good to go, and then the cat started screaming. Anyway, hello, Zeospantera, host of Z Reviews, Inner Fetish, all those other channels. These are giant black boxes. And you'll see them from the top, where I've added some accoutrement to make them a little more interesting to look at. From the top, from the front, there are things, but we'll get to the front. That actually hurt because they're sharp and heavy. These are VMV products, which for those of you who know how cars work, these are Lexus, made by SMSL/Toyota, which is that's how you get how that works. So SMSL is like, no. High-end brand, VMV. There's been a couple of VMV products. They've all been pretty fucking astonishing. Look, they even got the boxes. They're just like black, the D2r and the P2. They still haven't figured out naming to make them exciting, but we're getting there. Headphone amp, DAC. $1,000, $1,000. So really, this review only needs one gemstone because you don't have to buy the stack. You don't have to buy $2,000 in gear. You could pick one or the other. We'll start with the P2, which is the high-resolution headphone amplifier. Question of the day, will it run tungsten? Yes, it will run tungsten double-sided. In fact, I just did the sound demo. I redid the sound demo for the tungsten double-sided. For you, those of you who are supporters of me, Patreon and Subscribestar, for $5 a month, you get to all the sound demos. I redid the sound demo of the tungstens using DMS's magic 3D printed backs that help a problem that no one complained about, but that's DMS for you. This is my set of double-sided, so I put them on that. I'll just swap out this cable. This cable, by the way, is, if you don't recognize it, it is the Purple Asylum IM cable, which I straightened and then heat shrinked with clear heat shrink the adapters to give them 3.5 millimeter, just because I get to use my cable more and not have to use IMs with it. Not that I don't like IMs, it's just that, fuck yeah. So this amplifier has balls, and it has a gain switch that goes low, medium, and high. And on low, we were just on low. This is the Eris collab, which is upcoming next month, spring, soon. Just going to change the looks a bit. And I was at 2 o'clock on low gain. Now, those are some of the easiest to drive 32 ohm headphones you'll ever use in your life. I've been using this on this desk. If you follow me on the Inner Fetish channel doing IMs over there, I'm using it for IMs. It's extremely clean, extremely quiet. And then you go and flip the gain switch. Now the gain switch, all right, I'll give you a tour of the unit. We're gonna do, this is gonna need a little separate like editing because I gotta go over and put it in my DAC testing area. There is officially a DAC test now to tell you if a DAC sucks or not. This has some weird shit going on also that I need to double check by moving it. Black box, nothing on it. In fact, I went through the boxes and I remembered, oh shit, they give you the high-res audio sticker. They don't put it on the unit. Isn't that fucking nice of them? Thank you. See, that's the sign when you're going from SMSL to VMV. They just give you the sticker, and like here, you could just do whatever you want with that because you're not gonna put it on. You're gonna put better stickers on your devices. Anyway, huge. Like it's big. It's bigger than most SMSL things. Heavy. I think this weighs 7 pounds. They're both insanely heavy. They're just hewn out of solid blocks of aluminum. The front of it, which we have to get to, which is the part that makes you look at it and go, ooh, is a recess. Like this entire fascia has been machined. Then you've got a detent on the side with like a rose gold in it. And then got the glass with all my fingerprints because I didn't bother cleaning because I'm just going to touch it again. It says VMV, you got your 4-pin, your 1/4 inch, and your 4.4. Very basic. It's a nice knob. Apparently on a brand new designed VMV potentiometer that eliminates when there's a misbalance at low, which I can't detect it. So obviously it's doing its job. Just that alone, they should fucking market this. And you have a digital power button. You hold it and it goes red and you press it once. I think you have to wait because I just turned it off. Maybe got to hold it, turn on. Hold it, turns white. You got a little red indicator for standby. Personally, best color for standby, thank you. And then a little thin, just perfect. It feels high end. Do you feel the high end when I'm holding this? It's warm, by the way, because it's been on all night. You get your little D10. I like it. It looks the part of I'm going to spend $1,000 on a fucking headphone amp. It feels and looks the part, right? You get this volume knob, which is, I don't know what, is it metal? It might be metal. It's just so light. And it's got an indicator that you can see. Look, I didn't even have to draw that on. I like the front of it. The back of it is more, I'm going to call you mostly normal. Power switch, power plug. I will link to these Monoprice hospital cables because they're my favorite power plugs. Look how thick they are. This is our output to use this as a preamp. I'm going to power these studio monitors, but then I'll get copyright strikes, so we won't do that. But you have RCA outs for that. You got XLR outs. You got some vent holes back here above it because there's no vents on the other parts of it, so they're trying to dissipate the heat a little bit. And here's our inputs. We've got XLR and RCA inputs. And then in order to maintain the look of fancy and clean, they've added 3 very hard to find and flip switches to the back between the input and output. They are the XLR RCA switch, which is a physical switch. I believe in the APOS post, it's labeled as retro switches, and they're flush, so you can't accidentally. You have to get in there with a fingernail, and you got to be like, I want RCA. So they're not impossible. They're that perfect amount of like, I can switch this without too much fiddle-faddle fussiness. But they're on the back of the fucking unit. So if you're going to put this in a rack or a shelf and you're going to use it and you want to change the gain, low, medium, and high is at the bottom. Headphone amp versus preamp is in the middle. If I flip this, we should be able to get Batman Begins to play. Or it'll just go click. Did I shut it off by accident? Oh, I did. Oh, it's green now. The light goes green when you're in a preamp. So that's an indicator. So it's white when you're on headphone, green when you're on preamp out, and red when you're in standby. Gotta get to a loud part of a song. But I'm gonna get a copyright strike. I want to get it for Weird Al virus alert. So that's there. So that's there. Go back to headphone amp. We're using currently, this is the XLR input. Down there, the Denafrips Aries, which they've renamed to some other, for some fucking reason to another name, is the RCA input. All these are world's best cables. These are actually like $170 set of KLIE or something, like crazy ones. And then your low, medium, and high. Now, we're on tungsten, so I'm going to switch this straight past medium and right to high as gain. We're on headphone amp. We're going to do the RCA input, which is from that DAC down there. I'm going to flip this fucking thing around. I'm going to gently place it on the table in all of its 7.5 pound glory. By the way, 7.5 pound glory is definitely a porn. Don't look that up. Put them on. We'll keep Weird Al going, and I'll just turn this. And they're playing and they're loud. And I can go all the way, I can go to the point where they hurt. Now, just that is a reason to consider buying the P2. Just the fact that it can run fucking tungsten. Mind blown. Like I don't have any faith in many things to just run tungsten. Is it as good quality as, say, well, over there, I've got the massive 100 watt per channel speaker amp with taps on the back of it, excuse me. Maybe not. But then again, that might also be a softer sound. See, the tungsten, for those of you who don't know, this is the $2,000 double-sided, and it is the world's greatest headphone. Straight up, stop. Not if you're putting price to performance into the mix, and it's not like no holds barred, you know, HE1. This is the world's greatest headphone. And it's a pain in the dick to drive. Now, when you drive it, it absolutely tells you if the source is harsh or soft or warm. And you know what it loves? You know what this loves more than anything on the entire earth? Tube preamps. So when I did the sound demo for this, which again, $5 patrons can get access to all the sound demos, I did use the WA7 Fireflies to preamp this and then send into this. And I know from that experience that this amplifier is super fucking clean. Because as much as I think they're being powered perfectly, pretty much perfectly. You threw the tube onto it as a source, and it was oof. Ah. That said, how do they sound with not insane monsters? Because Violet Evergarden's playing. Hold on. See, very quiet parts of the song. I'm at like 4 o'clock, which is, this only goes, I maxed it out. I don't think you need louder than that. It's a very quiet song, and I'm... Question answered. So now, here's the thing. I have not needed to use high gain for any other headphone on Earth. Now, I'm going to try to switch it without going to the back, so I'm going to give it the old one of these right there. It's top switch, XLR, then the next switch is phono out, is pre-out, and I'm going to be like, hold on. Okay, there's medium, and there's low. I'm going to go back to medium. Hold on. It's a very, very audiophile practice of that sucks that I have to do that. So it's just something to consider. Now, I've got a couple other headphones on here. Obviously, I talked about my Eris, which will be out. I've got the new Bokah. I'm going to get this so wrong forever. Just accept this fact, people. I didn't straighten that pad out enough. These are the new ZMF affordable headphone. And because they're affordable, for some reason, they have an even better headphone wire. Boom, I can put my Purple Asylum on there because it's 3.5 millimeter. Yay. Put this on. And they're super loud on medium at 3 o'clock. This is one of those rare, if this was an SMSL amp and not a VMV amp, it would have a screen and it would have 97 options and it would have all sorts of like sound color and this and that and the next thing. And this is just a perfectly put together headphone amplifier. I mean, fuck, the switches are in the back. This is purpose built to be a big heavy lump of metal that has, hold on, I'll get to the actual wattage. I think I have it still open. That's the DAC. This is the P2. Ooh, it's very pretty. It's got 12 watts at 16 ohms. I'm assuming this is all on high gain, by the way. 12 watts at 16 ohms. These are 150 ohms, by the way. These tungstens. 6 watts at 32. 700 milliwatts at 300. So it's at least over a watt. It's got to be near to 2 watts for that at 150, which is pretty fucking spectacular. And then at 600 ohms, 350 milliwatts. Excellent. Signal to noise, 133. Dynamic range, 133. Total harmonic distortion plus noise, 123 decibels down, 0.00006%. Like, everything, these numbers, if you're buying an amplifier based on numbers alone, there it is, buy it. Spend your $999. Actually, if I count it as $999 and not $1,000, I don't have to put the gemstone in the title for either one of these things. But I'm gonna, because I'm not an idiot. They talk about a lot of shit here. They talk about specifically, apparently this has 99 low noise op amps used in a parallel design. Now, you can't open it because I refuse to, but that's a lot of a lot. That's a lot of a lot. That's a lot of a lot. And it's like, oh, I want to swap op amps. And like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You do not. What did I just do? You do not. Oh, it won't let me zoom in past that? Come on. I want to have fun. Anyway, yeah, the insides of it, from the pictures here that I could see, all insanely high quality stuff. It's just, again, this is like, hey, just build it as good as we possibly fucking can and charge somehow. It doesn't make sense. Zeos has been doing this for a decade, that this is only $1,000. Because when you have all this shit, including whatever the fuck a JAS high res is, they keep talking about it. And I don't know what that means. A beauty and a beast. Protection first, even for your audio. Built-in comprehensive protection for DC overvoltage and overloads. JAS high-res certification for unparalleled. I have no idea what that is. Someone in the comments, inform me. Because I don't care what that is, but they have it. All right, that, the specifically designed volume potentiometer greatly reduces channel deviation. That's the thing I like. Number one, because it's so small and they can fit it in other things. Please put them in other SMSL things. Yeah, so okay. It's nuts. It would absolutely stay right here. Like I'd put it right next to the Questel CMA 15. I have the Burson right there. Really, I've got no other amps that are permanent fixtures. A couple of tubes stick around. This would be a permanent fixture amplifier. And I put titties on it because that's just the kind of guy I am. Now, we have to move over from... Again, this review is coming, so don't worry about this. But you shouldn't be worried about that review. You should be worried about this review. This is the one that's going to hurt your wallets, right here. This one right here. Keep working on that, Pink Floyd. Keep working on that. Now we got to slide over. Because this is where it gets interesting. And I say that with a weird sort of, because if you recall back to this, hear my bones cracking as I move mildly quickly. If you recall this filthy, disgusting, abused and used X-Duo XDO5 Pro, you'll recall that it is a portable, well, it's basically half of the, it's literally these two things. You squeeze them into an $800 brick. And you could swap op amps in this, which I actually should swap op amps in this now that I've got new op amps. But you could swap the DAC. The DAC module, you could open these screws and the thing would come out. And the actual DAC for all these digital inputs was changeable from AKM to Sabre to whatever the fuck a ROHM DAC is, ROHM. And this is the first time I've ever got to hear a ROHM DAC. ROHM is a new type of DAC from a new company that isn't AKM or Sabre or Cirrus Labs or all those other ones are Burr Brown. It's new. It's what the fuck is this ROHM? And apparently it's a thing. But it was never in home equipment till this one. At least this is the first one I've got. So I was a wee bit excited for this because this is a fucking ROHM DAC. And it's a $1,000, not an R2R. It's not R2R. It's the D2r. And if we bring up the page for that, which I was just on a second ago, this has Qualcomm Bluetooth, blah, 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 setting the sound stage, blah, 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 JAS Hi-Fi, blah, blah, again, comes with a remote control. This is actually not the remote control for this one. This remote control for the old VMV stuff I had, aluminum, but it does still control it. So you get a nice metal remote control. Look at that fucking fancy door to change your watch battery. Or your CR25. Gold-plated, blah, 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 the ROHM's Hi-Fi chip wonder. The VMV D2r is powered by the ROHM BD34301EKV DAC chip. Holy shit, I can't wait. And part of ROHM's prestigious, I'm going to take the camera off my head for this, Muse-IC trademark. Get it? Muse-ic. I get it. They put a hyphen in there. That's fun. Technology allows for depth and audio checks, signals levels for its high performance metrics, blah, 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 blah. So, expert class leading low noise, blah, blah, blah. You're not here to hear me read this page. You're here to hear me talk about the unit. I've been using this DAC more than I've been using this amp because it's been sitting. You haven't seen it, but I have a table back there with just shit in it. In fact, that's where the Aries sits, and that's where everything sits when it's not on the desk. I need to clear the desk, it goes there, and sometimes I just leave it plugged in. This DAC has been feeding signal to amplifiers in this desk for 2 months. And like, I just put something on there, and I'm like, you know what? I just plug it into the ROHM DAC. It always sounds spectacular. But then when I moved it up to the table here, to give it like its actual, like I'm getting ready to review it, I gotta plug in all the things and I can do all the tests and I gotta run through all the fucking hoops. There's a flaw. And that flaw comes from the II2S connection. So the back of this unit, we'll tour this unit now, excuse me. Sit there. Front, we'll talk front. So this one actually has a screen. It's very basic. It's the basic same SMSL screen you always get. Inputs, outputs, PCM filter, DSD filter, sound color, We got to talk about sound color because that has something to do with this as well. Pre-mode, function key, which is this. Actually, it might be function key is there. II2S mode, II2S DD channel, audio phase, dimmer, brightness, reset. Good. You pick your inputs. AES, EBU, coaxial, optical, Bluetooth, USB, or II2S. We're going to keep going on AES for a second. And then your outputs are all of them, or just balance, or just line out. This actually hurts my wrist. This thing is fucking heavy. You know how this, it only has 2 PCM filters, by the way, sharp roll-off and slow roll-off. That's got to have to do with the ROHM chip. And then you get your little adjustment knob, which is a digital knob, the same knob as that, without an indicator, because it doesn't need an indicator. And you got your really funny, like, 1980s Burger King PCM font, which are really clean AES or indicator font. 44.1 is currently what's being fed into it, and there's your decibels right there. The bottom, by the way, of both of these have really nice, like, pyramid feet, and there actually is ways to take it apart. Holy fuck. The problem I'm hearing is only on the II2S input, and I'm going to leave this desk in about 4 minutes. We're going to go to the speaker testing arena, where I'm going to use a different source, because I'm currently using a Singzer SU6, which is the digital to digital converter, to give me all of these inputs. And I get a whine. Not like a good red wine or white wine, like a in the background of like a bunch of songs. Not every song, which is fucking weird, but like there's a specific Beethoven piece that's just like the entire thing is whine. I uploaded it to fucking patrons. I'm like, hey, does this have a whine? And no one said yes. And then I switched to the other DAC playing the same song, which that DAC only takes fiber optic, and it didn't have the whine. And then I plugged in all the inputs except for USB, and optical's fine, coaxial digital's fine, and AES is fine. Just II2S is weird. Now I want to use II2S because it's the best. The best of the best of the best, sir. And so I'm going to test it over there by another monoprice hospital grade cable. This DAC, when it is working and not weird, has a depth to it that I don't think it's as, I'm going to say the word characteristic as like the Aries down there, where that's an R2R, and that has a very, very soft, wide soundstage. But it does something to the sound that is, it's like describing why one French fry is better than another French fry, all right? And if they were the same exact size and shape and they use the exact same seasonings, yet one is better than the other. How do you just find that? It's like going to McDonald's on Berkshire Avenue or McDonald's on Main, and you're comparing French fries. Because they're both great. But what's different? So I'm going to not talk about the sound as much here. Again, I said 4 minutes, probably another minute to go. The weirdest thing about this unit is back in the menu under sound color. Now, other SMSL DACs and topping DACs, in fact, I have one over there right now. It's got sound color. And the usual thing is you hit sound color and there's no color, or you want to have it be rich or tubey or crystal. And you get to pick levels of that. Or there's one that was a sound color and it just did like the topping one, the new topping D90 Mark III has no sound color. Or do you want to just have like a valve sound, or you want it to have a transistor sound? You want to have no sound color. This, when you go to sound color, doesn't have a no option. It only has, back to my wrist hurting, low OSR plus HPC on, low OSR plus HPC off, or high OSR plus HPC on, or high OSR plus HPC. So there's no like default. There is no default. You have to pick one of these to listen to, and I don't know what is the standard. Now here's where it gets weird. When I'm using the II2S input, the fully HDMI size input, going between high and low actually physically changes the output gain of this unit so that this amplifier gets louder or quieter on low versus high. When I'm using all the other inputs, it doesn't change the volume or the voltage coming out of the outputs. So it's like, okay. And then when you go to you have to switch either low or high, and then you get to switch between HPC off or on. I'm not sure what the fuck that does. Here, I could go in here. If I go in here, hold on. We're in the DAC. I'm going to hit Control F. Excuse me, these. Excuse me. I'm going to hit Control F. And we're going to do HPC and see what comes up. Nothing. How about OSR? OSR. That is now searching something else. OSR. It's not here. They don't explain what it is. Someone booked it out of oversampling rate. So high oversampling versus low oversampling, but then the HP thing has got to be for headphone control or something. You don't put HP in the line unless you're talking about headphones. And I did, in fact, on this desk, which is the only place it's been run right now. I've obviously got some speakers here, but this isn't like a real setup. Let's go to a real setup with these exact same speakers over there. Those change like global positioning of sound. And I don't know which one's correct. Again, there's no off. You have to pick one of these 4 options that works best for you. And I kind of respect that because the purist would always set it to off. I've been trying to get better at that and actually set it to like, oh, you know what? I like the way this DAC sounds, but now I'm going to use an option that sets it to transistor mode. Or I'm going to use an option that has a rich number 2. So I've been fucked with it trying to just stick at one, and I'm not sure 100% what they do, but since I don't change the volume output when you're on one of the other inputs, all right, let's move it. Because we were ready, have I sold you on this monster amp for 1,000? Cool. Let's see what I could do with this DAC, because I cannot, all right, I'm just gonna explain it over there, hold on. Okay, so welcome to, I guess I've maybe introduced this place in the past, but I'm telling you about it right now again. This is where I figured out I can actually hear a difference in DACs. Sitting here in the speaker testing arena, using those Super Mon Minis on the, on the Orchard Audio Duo, using basically the little monoblocks, but you know, in a simple chassis, being fed off whatever, and then adding the Kali 6.2 sub. 6.2 sub between your legs. Whatever your source is goes into the sub. Boom. Sub comes out, goes into the amp, which is over there, leaning on the couch because that's professional. I've got some really nice RI Italian speaker cables, which I don't think they make a huge difference, but they're Italian, so I'm going to use them going up to these speakers. So these are $2,000. That's $2,000. The sub is $600. And whatever I put here, I can fucking tell the difference. I'm going to give a little bit of a half shout out. I know this is a great DAC testing area because I keep bringing new DACs here, and I brought a DAC, by the way, just like me for real. I brought a DAC here that I haven't used in a while. It was a JDS Labs balanced DAC, the little one, the little E3 from like 2 years ago, which has the 1/4-inch outputs, and I was gonna make this cute little thing with a 1/4-inch, and I hooked it up, and I put it, and I think it was still on the Sauvage amps, which I haven't removed from the stack yet, because they're just the right height to get the speakers perfect. And I put a different DAC here, a DAC that I trust. You all know JDS Labs. I trust JDS Labs. DAC was flat. And I don't mean like measurement wise. When people were yelling at me about testing DACs in the past for years now, and I don't listen to people in comments, you shouldn't. It'll keep you sane. But they're like, oh, you can't test headphones with a DAC? Huh, you got to test with some high-end speakers, blah, 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 blah. And you know what? They're kind of right. Kind of right. The problem is there's still a lot of room acoustics with normal speaker setups. If I put on those Mon acoustics back there, or these fucking triangles, I feel like there's too much between me and them that it's gonna fuck with things to really appreciate if there's a difference in DACs. The benefit of the soft Nearfield, which is what I'm calling this, by the way, because everything is just soft fucking cushions, there is no room. I've eliminated the room. My dick is the hardest thing in this space for it to reflect sound off of. And because it's just going from there, finger length to my ears, and there's nothing to hit, and the ceiling is padded, I can tell you a physiological difference in the way DACs sound. And having gone from, and this is actually an interesting little tidbit, SMSL SU10, which is like a $900 SMSL DAC, to the brand new SMSL SUX, or the Sucks DAC, which is their new line that I still have to review, which is it showed up after this. And now I'm going to the SMSL VMV D2r, and I could sit here and where's my fucking remote? I had one. And I could just go, hold on, wait. I could just swap song after song. What the hell is that? That is playing. Oh, it's my dick. Hold on. God damn it. I want to play the funny bit, but it's going to just get copyrighted, so.
Dick, my dick, my dick, my dick, my dick, my...
That is My Dick, or What's Up With My Dick, from the My Dick's double-length full feature from My Dick. The song is great. Just in FLAC, it actually has... Here's the thing. The change in a DAC here on soft Nearfield, or ultra Nearfield, or soft ultra Nearfield, is soundstage and depth. It's two-dimensional. Not three-dimensional, just two. Up and down really isn't a thing. But if the sound is presented in the center, because I'm perfectly measured and comfortable, got the sub keeping me perfectly straight. The sound is in the middle, that's fine. Even the worst DAC will make the sound come from the middle. The difference is, can it make the audio come... Do I hear where the speakers are? Or do the speakers just gone and I'm just hearing sounds in space? The better the DAC, the more the sound is just floating in space. This is the best one I've heard. And I did the switch on the sound color. HPC off is a little bit flatter. If I go to HPC off and I put back on my dick.
My dick, my dick, my dick, my dick.
Then the sound is sort of like it's almost like there's a TV here and it's just, that's it. That's where it's coming from. I got good separation this way, but not as much depth. My dick doesn't have as much depth. Then I go back to sound color, and on OSR high, which is oversampling rate high, and HPC on, I get out of that again, and I don't play my dick anymore. Why isn't it following the track? Hold on. By the way, should I do another foobar video? Yeah. Playback follows cursor and cursor follows playback are two options you got to put on in foobar so that it actually follows. I don't know why those aren't on by default. But yeah, I think we should get some Overseer's Never. The depth. Look, I can tell the difference in DACs now. And it was, all it took was $4,500 in equipment and a bunch of pillows. So there you go. You're all set. You're ready to rock and roll. And then you can just swap out DAC after DAC after DAC. I haven't brought the EF600 here because it's not a preamp, so I'd have to still put a knob here. I put a knob between my legs to turn over and over and over again to adjust volume going to the amp, because that's a power amp, and this is just a sub, and the sub just sits there. And it actually, the sub is removing the frequencies from this. So it is, but this is just a system, man. This is just a system. And I've actually discussed with my friend Dan building custom speaker stands so that I could gently adjust both height, because sometimes I slouch down and it changes. And you have to be perfectly here. And then you can actually hear the fucking difference in DACs. So guess what? If you don't have this, DACs don't make a difference. If you have this, DACs make a difference. So what that means is I need someone to bring over their fucking stupid Hollow May again. So I could sit it on the soft ass arm of my couch, by the way, which if you didn't watch my very first live stream, I had a mattress cover, a like memory foam mattress cover, like a big 3-inch one. And I bought this couch new back in my old apartment, and I didn't like the way the arms felt. So I opened the zipper, I pulled out all the stuffing, and then I cut, folded, and shoved memory foam in the arms of this couch, so it's nice and solid. Great to sleep on, by the way. I can hear a difference in this DAC. This DAC is exceptional here. Whether you will hear that difference in headphones, because that's the thing. When I hear a difference in headphones, it usually means R2R, it means the EF600, it means the Aries, it means something much softer. But now with this setup, it isn't just about changing the frequency response or your perception of the frequency response. It's an actual physicality thing. How resolving is soundstage? Is it expanding the soundstage or contracting the soundstage? I have to put every DAC I have here, which, by the way, I am running optical. Let's switch this to, hold on. You see if you could hear the whine if I switch it to I2S. Quiet. Do I have it on low? Hold on. No? So here, II2S just changed it. So now sound color, which HPC on is quieter than HPC off. So let's go to low with it on. And does it get even quieter than that? It's the only one where, so it's HPC that changes the volume, not the high and low on that. I don't understand what those settings are for. I'm not hearing the whine, but this is also because it's the first time I'm playing it. So let's put it to high OSR HPC on, which should be quiet. I'm going to crank it up to 0. I'm going to pause the camera. I will go through a bunch of my music and report back, because you don't have to watch while I listen to this. It would be boring. Who would want to watch Zeos enjoying himself? I'll be back. I'll tell you if moving it, because instead of a Singzer SU6 as my digital to digital converter, I'm using the Matrix X SPDIF 3 all the way the fuck over there behind the nurse from Two Love Ru. Well, actually, she's not the nurse. She's just the hall monitor prude who's dressed up like a nurse. Just anime figures, man. Anyway, that's an HDMI cable coming all the way to this. So I'll be right back. So this is the Beethoven song that on the review desk, every time I play it, there is a high-pitched whine in the background on the I2S. It's Beethoven's Piano Sonatas number 14 in C sharp minor. There you go. I'm sure someone out there can tell you exactly which one this is. This is from SSS Nightingale, which is Supreme Stereo Sound's Nightingale. And it's got a lot of this in the background of it. Listen. Like you could hear that it's not cleaned up. It's very hissy in the background. Hiss isn't what I'm talking about. It's like whine. It's like fucking, it's like womp. It's like Archer Simulator. Like you just hear the whine of, what the hell is it called when your ears ring all the time? I know what it is because my father has it. Yeah, that. It's that simulator. It's like, why am I hearing a ringing? It's not here. So that's great news. That it was just specifically something to do with my setup over there and the way it was running. It's not here. That said, I did notice something else on my journeys through playing various things. I don't like the way it sounds as much on II2S. I sat here listening before I started the video at the beginning of the moving over here with optical, just straight up optical. Love it. Every second of it. And I use everything on optical. Bird. Hi, Bird. Fuck off, Bird. What are you doing? Is he calling for a mate? Don't do that in front of my window. Or do it, but let me film it. When I switched to I2S, and I noticed this over there, but I was having that whining issue, so I just assumed something was wrong. It's sharp. If I feel like we're losing a little bit of that magic depth I was talking about. Like, I think the implementation, since this is only my second ROM DAC, and the first one was in a fucking portable, I don't know if ROM as a system really wants or needs II2S. I feel like if you're putting out a DAC in 2024 or 2023 when this came out, and you're implementing it, you're gonna have to put II2S or no one's gonna take you seriously. Unless you're Denafrips in this case and like, fuck you, optical is good enough. So here's what I'm gonna say. I will absolutely, positively stand by the sticker placement I put on the top of this fucking DAC. Don't use II2S. Just don't use II2S and you're fucking golden. You could try it, obviously, but I'm finding it's just a little bit too... That is like 8% more than I want right now. It's just like here, if I literally go and I just go to inputs, the beauty part, rich, and I just go to optical, and I get out of this. And by the way, this song is Call the Night. Night Pool background music. So if you haven't seen the anime Call of the Night, do, and then get the soundtrack. Now, even though that I just swapped it, I'm now an optical. And to probably the camera, it doesn't sound any different. It just sounds like a lot going on right there. There's a chill effect that it's just been implemented, and I could lower the volume a little bit if I really just want to get back to like 9, because actually the changing of it did raise the volume a bit. That's so much better. So here's the deal. DACs do make a difference. Probably not mostly on headphones, and probably not mostly on speakers. But in this wild near-field scenario, plugging into just fucking cushions, I can hear a difference in DACs. And this is the best one I've heard so far. And I've only heard like 5 of them here. In fact, I had the Black Ice Aries, the tube pre, and that does some fucking shit, brah. This is $1,000 DAC, and I'd put it up against anything higher than it. Just don't plug in II2S. That is the lesson we're learning here. DAC reviews are no longer going to be like, ooh, pretty box. I'm going to have to sit here and listen to music. Could you imagine the stress that's going to put on my life? Low recording quality postmodern jukebox. I just immediately like, oh, this is recorded in a room that isn't treated. I could hear it. So, I mean, once you've got the cleanest amplifier on planet Earth and some of the best micro monitors on planet Earth, with honestly, that sub, if that sub didn't exist, I wouldn't be here because these things would have no bass. I invite you to my basement. Not really. Don't show the fuck up at my house. I will shoot you. But somehow Stone Temple Pilots sounds good, and they're never ever good. So yeah, I'm gonna give the P2 headphone amplifier a huge fucking thumbs up, because it fucking runs tungstens, and despite the fucking stupid switches on the back, which again, if that you know already if it's a deal breaker. Oh, are you gonna go, oh, yes, I'm gonna set it to medium. I have normal headphones, not really a lot of IMs. Because that's the thing, I'd want to set it to low for IMs and medium for headphones, and high only for tungsten. But it's not only on the back, it's on the back and on the bottom. So it's like, if you have just an open desk and you can figure out how to finger it from behind, like that, you're good to go. If that's a deal breaker, it's a deal breaker. Your deal is broken. But I really love everything else about the way it feels, the way it looks, the way it handles, that volume pot that's super nice. The 99, why 99? That's an odd number. Wouldn't 100 make more sense for op amps? Like, seriously now. Wouldn't 50 aside? Or are they using some singles and some doubles? Like, well, I don't know if I can do that.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I hate punk rock.
He just said, I hate punk rock 5 feet in front of me. He's just standing right there and doing that shit. That's crazy. That's short music for short people. That's an entire album of 30-second songs, which came out like the turn of the century. And no one's ever made anything like it. And I think you should all... I hate most of it, but there's a couple really, really good ones on there. So yeah, P2 amplifier is a buy if you live with the things, if you live with the switches. This is a buy if you could live with not ever plugging it into II2S, which frankly for most of you is probably not even an issue. I have 2 units that give me digital to digital so that I can have a million things plugged in all digitally without any splitters or fuckery. So I just happen to use it. But like that one down there, that's the topping D90 Mark III, and that's plugged in AES, and that's feeding those $7,000 Mons off of more Orchard Audio. I found my sound. It's Orchard Audio for amplification because it's fucking clean as a whistle, and then it's apparently Korean loudspeakers. So yeah, I'm done with this review. Thank you for stopping by. Patreon and Subscribestar actually do support this channel. As I explained before, electric bills are high, and mortgages need to be paid for. So you guys are my boss. You join that and you're my boss. If you're a $5 patron, you get to see reviews early, participate in yard sales, which happen from the 1st to the 10th of every month, and I sell things and ship them. This won't be in a yard sale. However, I do have 3 $1,000 SMSL DACs. I think the Sucks DAC is near that. This one was 900. This one I think is 900. This is 1,000. One of those should probably end up in a yard sale 1st to 10th of every month. The other benefit of $5 is you get to these sound demos where you could hear, actually I have to sound demo these here. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, $5 a month, you get to all the previous sound demos that have been deleted from YouTube because copyright strikes, and all future sound demos with their own videos, and usually not safe for work wallpapers because fuck you, it's not on YouTube, I'll do what I want, are available for all $5 patrons. $10 patrons get in the behind the scenes private Telegram chat where you can buy, sell, and trade gear with each other, and you're in that for life. So once you... $10 patronage chat and the Swap Me channel, and you're in the Swap Me channel for life, you have to maintain sponsorship or support to be in the $10 chat where you talk to me directly, because God knows there'd be 1,500 people in it by now if it didn't kick you out. So yeah, support the channel. Thank you so much. And when I have sponsors, thank you for clicking on them. When I go to shows, if you don't watch the show videos, if they're too long or too obscure, like the CES show still isn't public, but just open the video, click a sponsor link, and be like, I'm here, and then fuck off. Because, you know, it just to show the... I want to be able to go to these shows and things with support. And it helps if you guys just show them that you like me, so they pay me, because I don't make money on these trips, which is bad business decisions. But yeah, no, I like going to Munich. I want to do Munich again. I got to do Expona. I got to do Expona because I'm going to apparently be in a panel at Expona. So if you're near Chicago in April, I'll be there. And yeah, this is my first real DAC review here, because it makes a difference. There's an actual difference. Again, only to me and only to this setup. So I'll see you all next time on Z Reviews in 3 days. If you want more of me every day, after this review comes live on the Inner Fetish channel, which is my IEM review channel, there'll be a review. And the day after that, there'll be an unboxing.